Frog fans. I'm half blind because the light bulb is like right here. I'm touching it. Well, poking it with my nail, because if I actually touch it with my skin, I'll burn. I'll burn like the witch that I am. Just kidding, I'm not a witch. My mom is, though. Not even a joke, she's wicked. Which is not a bad thing, and it's not Satanism either, which is also not necessarily a bad thing. We accept all religions here. All religions, all genders, all sexualities, all everything. Unless what you are hurts people, then we don't like you. But whatever you are, whatever you do, if it's not hurting other people, welcome. If it's just offending other people, well then, that sounds like a them problem to me, frankly. I'm hyper today because I've had lots of sugar. I just ate a chocolate bar. Anyways, we're making a baby. We're gonna make a baby, a baby, a baby. We're gonna make a baby. One leg, ah, ah, ah. Two leg, ah, ah, ah. Not three leg, because we don't have three. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with three-legged babies. We don't have them here, though. Okay. So this is the Claire kit by Ann Timmerman. I've got her head over here, so her head isn't quite finished yet. I still need to adjust and cut her eyelashes. And then I need to fix her eyes in because she has the backing for her eye sockets has been cut out completely. So I'm gonna have to use some glue and some felt to get the eyes to stay in. So we won't be putting her completely together today, but I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, building a doll is actually a lot longer. It takes a lot longer than most people think it does. And me just putting the legs and all that together will take a sufficient amount of video, I think. It usually does. Why do I have so much stuff? God. Probably because, I use all this stuff. I have so much stuff, but it's like, when we moved, my grandma's like, you have a lot of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I do. But the thing is it's not crap. Like, I don't have a lot of useless things. Like, pretty much everything I have, I use. Maybe it's not on a regular basis, but... Okay. Keep it together. Good. Put it in the leg. So I've been working on this kit for quite a while, and I've had her for a really long time. I think I got her for Christmas like 2 Christmases ago. The kit's been with me for a couple of years. And originally she was going to be a doll for my personal collection, but right as I was about to start painting her, the 7-month reborn June Awake came out, And I absolutely fell in love with that kit, and I was like, well, I either have to, you know, not get the June and keep Claire, or decide to sell Claire whenever she gets done and get June for myself, and that's what I decided to do. I mean, I already have a 0 to 3 month size girl in my collection anyways. I might end up getting the Claire in my collection eventually. But, you know, it's been a long time coming with this doll. And there was all sorts of problems on the way. Some of the problems were things I did, mistakes I made. Some of them were defects in the kit. But, you know, every time I talk about that, I make it very clear that it's not anything about the Claire kit or, you know, Ann Timmerman's kits. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just this individual kit that I have that had some defects. It had a couple air bubbles, and that's not going to be every kit. It's just sometimes you get those. And the air bubble that I ran into with this one was in a very compromising spot, so she's ended up with a bit of a bum finger, but she's still going to be a very cute baby. Get in the hole. Get in there and stay in there, because I told you to. You don't have to like it. Okay, we don't like baby legs that sound like maracas. I'm right back. You don't want to overstuff the leg, because then that can be a danger for tearing. But you also don't want to understuff the leg and then have like the glass beads rolling around in there, and you know, when you shake the doll it sounds like a maraca. I mean, not that we should be shaking any babies, but you should be able to shake your baby and have it not make a rattling sound. I'm kidding, never shake a real baby. If you don't know why, you probably shouldn't have a baby. Okay, there we go, no rattling sounds. Oh yeah, you already filled that leg, dummy. IQ like crayon. I look bright, but I'm not too sharp. Such small, like, holes on the ends of these legs, too. Which, you know, I could cut out if I really wanted to, but there's really no point to it. I mean, it would make it a little bit easier, but at this point it would just be like a pointless step, really. it would take more time than not doing it would. If I'm making any sense, I don't make much sense a lot of the time. It's not a specialty of mine. Get in there. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, that's good. We've got 2 legs, 2 arms. Man, I overfilled it a little bit. I usually do half on limbs. I do glass beads to just below the knees and then just up to the elbow. I feel like that gives them a good weight, and also it makes it a lot easier to stuff, because trying to get a good amount of polyfill down into this area is really hard. I also tend to like babies on the heavier side, so I mean, the first doll I made, I weighted like way too heavily because I like my babies really heavy. Like she was unrealistically heavy. The first doll I made was probably about 11 pounds and the size of a 5-pound baby. But you know, I like my babies to be realistically weighted. But I do kind of step back a little bit on dolls that I'm making for sale because, you know, not everyone likes them to be very heavy, and also it saves on material, which allows me to make the dolls a little less expensive, and also it shaves. No, it doesn't shave. There is no hair to shave. it saves on shipping because it's less heavy. She does have a couple boo-boos, so I'm going to have to take that into consideration when I do her pricing, and then obviously that's going to have to be something that I highlight when I'm making her posts and advertisements, whatever you want to call them. Or the best thing is when I cook the dolls, because I use a heat set paint, when I bake them, I put the oven out on the porch that's right off of my bedroom, and if you're walking by and you just happen to look down the porch, you can see the oven and you can see me taking doll parts out and putting them in and all that. And there's been a couple of times where someone's just casually walking by and they just happen to look up and see me taking little baby arms out of the oven with tongs, and they just look up and all of a sudden they just get this horrified look, and I'm just like, hey! And they're like, oh my god! I don't think they think that it's a real baby limb, God forbid. I mean, the police haven't showed up here yet. Yet. But, at the first look, when you see it, you're like, ah! There's been times where, I forget where I've put a doll part, or forget where I've put a doll, and look, and all of a sudden there's, human being resembling things in a place where there shouldn't be, or where I forgot they are, and it does get you for a second. When I first had the toddler doll, I went from, little newborn doll to all of a sudden having this great big toddler doll, and it was a shock sometimes, because I'd look over and there'd be this, realistically sized child sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, alright, it's the doll. False alarm, we're good. What is the time? Told you this took a while. It's not helping that I decided to close the zip tie too tight on her neck, so now my hand doesn't fit in here properly, but... Dummy! No, brain! Where'd it go? I don't know. It's gone. It went on vacation. It packed its bags and left. It didn't even offer to take me with it. And then we have two little bags of, stockings full of glass beads in the body. We have the butt sack and the heart. Not official terms, that's just what I call them. She's a 0 to 3 month baby, so I'll put a little bit more in her butt. A little bit more in the butt sack. Okay, maybe not quite that much. Okay. And we're gonna tie a knot in this, and then it's going to look like one of those little severed head thingies. Those little voodoo severed head things that you see in movies. Yeah, and then we're going to double bag it, so to speak. Just because we don't want the glass beads getting free. want someone to open up the doll and find a big old mess in there. That wouldn't be very nice. Oh, wait. Wrong side. Put the little nub on the inside, because then it's just less likely that someone's going to feel it in there. Come on, you. There we go. Tight. Play a little hot potato with it. And into the butt it goes. Little tip, do not tighten your zip ties beforehand. Like I did, because then you run into this problem and you gotta mush it in. Mush, 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 mush. Get in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then we kind of put it in the middle. Sit. Stay. Bad. Alright, and we're gonna cut these off at the crotch. Ow. I pinched my finger. Pinched my finner! Pinched my finner, Dora! Oh, where'd she go? My bunny left me. My little companion left me. Some familiar you are. Just excuse me, I've been really into Chilling Adventures of Sabrina since the 4th season came out. Okay, and this is the heart. Because it's long enough, instead of making another one, I'm just going to flip it inside out. And tie it again. I mean, double bagging the bead sacks isn't really like totally necessary, but I like to do it just because if you really squeeze the sack, it will, with the single tight, beads will start to leak through. And it's probably not likely that the sack is going to get squeezed that hard when it's in the body, but I don't know, if a bead sack breaks open and the glass beads spill into the body, it's going to be a big old mess, and I've had it happen before in my personal dolls, and I like to just make that less likely to happen, because it's not an easy mess to clean up. You gotta, like, empty out your entire doll and basically start stuffing it from scratch again. And you're probably gonna have to get new beads, because a lot of it is going to be lost into the stuffing. I keep forgetting where I put my bag of polyfill. It's at your feet, dummy. sitting up on its own. Usually I find if the body sits up on its own, it means I have it pretty well balanced. And like at this size, you don't want the doll to sit up on its own because like that's not realistic. But after the limbs are on, it's not going to sit up on its own. But I find if the body can balance itself before I put all the parts on, it usually is a good weight, and the weight is well distributed throughout the body, throughout the cavity. Because I need, sure, add more words to make this even more awkward and slightly disturbing. That's exactly what we needed here, Lilith. Thanks. You're welcome. Myself. Okay, that should be good. Now we can put the limbs on, make sure I've got the right limb for the right socket, because I have done that before. I've put legs on backwards and left versus right. So the big toes are pointing out, and it's like, that's not quite right. Problemo! Okay, and because she's got swiveling legs, I can just pull her right tight. That's not going nowhere. I'm always torn on there's another word for it. I call them swivel legs, or like swivel joints. That's not what they're actually called. And I'm always torn on them because they do, like show a bit more cloth. But at the same time, it just makes it so much easier to put together, and it makes it easier to move the arms and legs. I've tightened this one too tight. I was not thinking when I put the zip ties in this body. Another thing that's kind of funny in a house where someone makes reborns is you have all this terminology, and sometimes when you're in reborn mode and you're talking about all this, reborn terminology, it doesn't translate well. And the other day I'm in here and I was looking through boxes of doll stuff, and I found a cloth body I had been missing. And I was like, hey, I found the body! And everyone in the kitchen is like, you what? Come on, don't make me replace this zip tie. It's funny when you start wrestling with them like this, you actually start to sweat, and it's like, oh, hey, this is kind of a workout. What's your workout routine? I put dolls together. I make babies. That's another fun thing. When people ask me, when I say that I'm an artist, they say, oh, what's your art? What do you do? Or what's your pastime or something like that? And I go, oh, I make babies. And they're like, huh? And then I explain. Usually. Depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes you gotta let them wonder. You just gotta let them wonder. Okay, I think I've got her. Yeah, I got it. Okay. tie cutters. Why am I losing everything? Oh hey, I found a body! What doll is this to? I don't even know. Oh, I think that's the extra body I have. The body that I was originally going to be for the June kit, but it didn't fit properly, so I got a new one. So now I have an extra body. You gotta love when you have extra bodies lying around. Oh! Good save. No dropping half dismembered babies on the floor. That's not good. Don't do that. Get in the hole. Okay, Claire, could you, stop trying to fall off the table, please? Make me! Alright, there we go. I got her. Yep. Okay. Get in there. Come on. Cut the zip tie. Do your job. You have one job. Do it. Okay. Yes, master. Anything that opens and closes automatically becomes something that has the potential to talk. Okay. So, she feels good. Okay. So that's Claire's body. Now we just gotta finish with her eyelashes and her eyes. Okie dokie. Okay, so I've just put Claire's eyes in, and the glue is drying. So all I have to do now is wait for her eyes to set, and then finalize her eyelashes. I'm not going to be finishing her tonight, but, there's her body. Now we've got 2 headless babies in the nursery. Lovely, huh? Oh, little headless baby. Luna, what did you do? The zombie baby gets blamed for everything. Okay. Well, anyways, that's all for now, Frog fans. Keep posted to see Claire with a head. And, yeah, she's a bit of a boo-boo baby, but she will be for sale at some point soon. She'll definitely be finished by the end of the week. I've still got to price her, though. Alright, keep living the Frogman's life, stay safe out there, and we shall see you next time. Bye.